Creed Humphrey is locked down as the Kansas City Chiefs center for the foreseeable future as he had just signed a long-term extension. And the Kansas City Chiefs made an interesting move in the wide receiver room as they brought back a familiar face. Now with that, let's cut the chit chat and let's have some fun. Let the real games begin, as now we can finally push the preseason behind us as the Kansas City Chiefs wrapped up their final game against the Chicago Bears in disappointing fashion. They finished the preseason off at 0-3, but that is not what matters. We are fast forwarding as we got 2 weeks to go to face the Baltimore Ravens on Banner Night. But the Kansas City Chiefs made news on that preseason game and this morning. So let's dive into that. As on that preseason game, they signed Creed Humphrey to a 4-year, $72 million, $50 million guaranteed contract. That is worth up to $18.5 yearly. He is the richest paid center ever, and he eclipsed that by a wide margin. He eclipsed Jason Kelce's previous contract by $4 million, which is a huge range. I knew Creed Humphrey would get extended. I knew he would become the richest center, but I didn't know it would be at that wide margin, and honestly, I'm not upset with it. If you pay attention to the NFL at every single position, if you play good, you get paid good. And the Kansas City Chiefs paid him rightfully so, and they wanted to make sure they got him locked up before the season and before next year when he becomes a free agent, because that is something they didn't want to deal with. And you see what Brett Veach has been doing. Sign his guys who have put him in position to go back-to-back and a potential to three-peat with Creed Humphrey, with Drew Tranquil, with Harrison Butker. He is making sure the players get paid in-house, and Patrick Mahomes has also helped out with that, with making restructures to free up space and getting these guys locked down. This is a great thing to see. And oh yeah, I missed the biggest name in Chris Jones himself. Kansas City Chiefs players are getting paid, and that is huge, and there's still more to come because we may have a likely extension from Trey Smith. I don't know if that's going to be in the foreseeable future, like before the regular season. That may be coming into free agency next year, but if they can get Trey Smith locked up, hey, that's something we like to see because we know Brett Veach's main MO is to protect Patrick Mahomes, and if he loves Trey Smith just as much as Chiefs Kingdom does, I wouldn't be afraid to say that Trey Smith can get locked down soon. But the Kansas City Chiefs weren't done there, as this morning, literally less than an hour ago, maybe going on 2 now, they just signed wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster as he will be coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs active roster. And this was out of left field for me. I don't really know what to make of this. So let's just dive into it because this can mean so many different scenarios, and my head is just swirling around every single one of them. I know majority of Chiefs Kingdom is very, very happy to see Juju back. And me, I'm there, but I'm not fully there. And the reason why is because Juju hasn't been completely healthy. Now, the reason why I say I'm barely there and I got a glimmer of hope is because he does raise the floor for the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiving room, and he is a good wide receiver number 4 or 5 if that's solely what we're basing it on. Now, the reason why I have so many concerns or speculations around how this Kansas City Chiefs wide receiving roster is going to shape up is because who's the odd man out? Because there's going to be someone out, and I know everyone's listing Kadarius Toney. Well, I don't think that's the case. That doesn't mean I don't think Kadarius Toney won't get cut, but I don't think Juju signing says, Kadarius Toney, you're out the door. These two players are vastly different. Kadarius Toney can be an asset on special teams, and Juju can't. And we know Andy Reid and Dave Toub loves their wide receivers to contribute on special teams. So whether or not Kadarius Toney may have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, he can produce in so many levels of facets. Not saying he's going to make the roster, but I'm saying he's a different player than Juju. The reason I say that is because I think it highlights someone so specifically different, and I think this could be putting a guy like Justin Ross on the chopping block. I say that because Justin Ross and Juju are very similar to where all they do is play offense. Justin Ross doesn't go out on special teams, and Kansas City loves their wide receivers to do that. So do I really believe they're going to keep 2 wide receivers that don't produce on special teams? I find that very, very unlikely. And I know a lot of Chiefs Kingdom will also highlight McCall Hardman or Sky Moore. That could put them on the chopping block. I don't see that either. If anything, it could highlight McCall Hardman to a different degree, but McCall Hardman brings a veteranship, special teams ability, deep threat ability, and also familiarity with the offense. I don't think that labels him just at the moment. Again, I don't believe he's safe. I just don't believe it labels him at the moment of why Juju was brought in. And also, Sky Moore. Everyone wants to put Sky Moore on a plane out of KC. He's on his rookie contract. KC loves to eke out a rookie contract. I don't think that means Sky Moore is out of KC. I honestly think Sky Moore will be your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. He's not going to get that much playing time, but he will contribute in limited fashion. Best believe that. And two other things this could highlight as well is Hollywood Brown. We know he got injured in the first week 1 preseason game. What does that mean? Could this signing dignify that Hollywood Brown may be out longer than anticipated? Could we see Hollywood Brown going on the PUP missing the first 4 to 6 weeks? I don't know, but that could be something too, because again, you're bringing someone back who is familiar with the offense. He's not the same kind of receiver as Hollywood Brown, but he's got a connection with Mahomes. And that's something Coach Reed doesn't want to lose a step going into week 1. So that could be an option as well. And the biggest looming factor of it all, and the final thing that could take place, but I don't really believe it will, but if it does, it's a great insurance policy. Of course, if Juju can stay healthy and is Rashee Rice, is he getting suspended or not? And these two receivers have the same kind of play on the football field. They can play slot, they're good yak receivers, and they're good, tough, physical receivers. Again, when Juju is healthy, I feel like I got to keep highlighting that because I don't know if he's even healthy. I believe so, or the Chiefs wouldn't sign him. But man, I don't know how long that knee could hold up. But if Rashee Rice is going to be suspended, I can see that's the reason to bring Juju in. As you see, there's so many different variables and reasons to bring Juju back in. I just don't know which one it was for. Again, I'm not over the hills, out the roof on why the Kansas City Chiefs signed Juju. I know Chiefs Kingdom loves him. I do too. But I don't see a role for him. But that's why I don't make the shots. We'll have to see how it all pans out. The Chiefs are about to announce their 53-man roster this week, and we're going to get a more clear vision heading into the regular season on how it all pans out, how it all shapes out, and what Juju's role is. With that, I'm going to cut this video off. Chiefs Kingdom, you let me know how you feel about the Creed Humphrey extension and what you think Juju can provide for this team going into 2024. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you did like this video, please hit that big thumbs up. I'm checking out. Y'all take care. Peace.